This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That little piece of music there was using what I think of as one of the happiest and most uplifting ways of putting a chord sequence together, putting an entire piece of music together. As you know, over the past few weeks, in these Wednesday videos, I've been taking a little bit of a look at the sound of each particular mode. A little bit of a mini-series on the topic of the modes of the major scale. We've done the Dorian, we've done the Mixolydian, we've done Aeolian, we've done Phrygian, we've done Lydian, and I thought I'd save one of the nicest ones, if not the nicest one, till last, really, the Ionian mode, and that's what you were listening to, as I say, in that piece of music. So here's some information on what the Ionian mode is, how it works, how you can use it, basically what makes it tick.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so the Ionian mode is what you get when the key that you are using to supply the chords that are in your chord sequence, when the tonic chord of that key, the one chord, also happens to be the tonality of that chord sequence. And that is really the kind of the whole concept of modes right there. Just because you're in the key of C, for example, it doesn't necessarily follow that the C chord is going to be the tonality. What I mean by tonality is that is the chord that is acting as the musical centre of gravity for the piece of music. When you arrive at that chord, it no longer sounds like it needs to move on to something else to sound finished or resolved or at rest. For example, if I was to play an F chord, a G chord, C, and then F, that F sounds unfinished. It wants to go back to the C chord to sound finished. That's what we mean by tonality. And the chords in the key of C would be C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B minor 7 flat 5, and then back to C again. There's all sorts of variations that you could have on many of those chords, like major sevenths and minor sevenths and sus4s and that sort of stuff, but those are what I think of as the primary chords in the key of C. And as we saw way back when we started this little exploration of modes, I could take some of those chords, all chords from the key of C, and make it all sort of resolve to a D minor chord like this. See, when you reach that D minor chord there, it feels like you've completed the journey and you are resolving onto that chord. It doesn't sound like it's yearning to move on to another chord to sound finished. And when you do that, when you take the 2 chord, which D minor is the 2 chord in the key of C, when you take the 2 chord and resolve to that, that's the Dorian mode, okay? The 1 chord in the key of C is a C chord. And the Ionian mode is what you get when you resolve to the 1 chord, when you construct the chord sequence in such a way as to make that sound like basically you've crossed the finishing line. Quite often, but not always, the easy way to make a chord sound like it's the one that everything needs to head back towards and finish there is to put that chord first in the chord sequence. And a lot that leads to sort of a bit of a common misconception that all you got to do is look at the first chord, and that'll tell you what the tonality is. It's not quite the case, because in this piece of music here, I played the chord sequence went from an F to a G, C, A minor, and then back to F again, D minor, and then 2 bars of G. If I play through that, you'll hear that although it doesn't start on a C chord, it will sound resolved ending on a C chord. See what happens when you arrive at that C chord? It sounds resolved and at rest, and C major, the C major chord is the tonality. All of the chords that I'm using there all come from the key of C major. Granted, they'll all occur in other keys. The F chord could be coming from the key of F, or the key of B flat, as well as the key of C. The G chord could be coming from the key of G, or the key of D, as well as the key of C, and so on. But crucially, there's only one key where you'll get all of those chords together. The F, the G, the C, the A minor and the D minor. Only one key contains all of those, and that's the key of C. So if you've got all of those chords together, then you are in the key of C. And as I say, in this case, we're also using the C chord, the 1 chord in the key, as the tonality. When you do that, that is the Ionian mode. As for how you play over something in the Ionian mode, same way you do with, or I think of this in the same way as I do for all of the other modes. I start with the pentatonic, which fits the overall tonality, in this case C major, so here's a C major pentatonic. And then I just have a little bit of a snuffle around in the chords to find notes that aren't in the C major pentatonic. Here's a nice little tip for you. Find a C note anywhere in the C major or A minor pentatonic and descend that scale. You're spelling the word caged. C-A-G-E-D. C-A-G-E-D, C and A. Nothing to do with the cage system before we get into any kind of confusion there. So I can look at the chord sequence, I can say, well, okay, there's an F chord in that chord sequence. That F chord must bring an F note along with it, so I can add that in. And I know that's an F there because I know this is an E here. C-A-G-E, that's an F there. And I look at the G chord, and I can see that's got this note in it, this B note, so I can add that in as well. And by doing that, I turn the C major pentatonic. I still think in terms of mapping the neck out in terms of your your 5 basic pentatonic boxes, add in the requisite notes for whatever mode you're in, and you'll find those within the chord sequence that you're playing over, and you've got the shape for the mode. Basically, when you're playing a pentatonic scale, you're playing 5/7 of a major scale or a modal shape anyway, so it's just a case of figuring out what other notes you need to add in. And that's exactly what I did on that little demo piece there, and put a little bit of a harmony part on as well. I've done harmony guitar videos before, but if you'd like me to do that kind of thing again, then just shout out in the comments. So there you go. That is what's going on with the Ionian mode. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab for the piece of music that we kicked the video off with in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it. That explanation you've just seen there, and a jam track to play along with yourself, that is as usual up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description, and as I'm sure you know by now, it's $3 or £3 a month, and you get access, or roughly £3 a month, and you get access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description, including the tier 2 level of Patreon membership, where you get some extra video content up on the Patreon platform. You get a twice monthly hangout with me and the other tier 2 people every other Tuesday. Basically, we do that on Zoom, and I've also just kind of kicked off a new feature there where I'm putting some blog posts up on there as well. So you get all the tabs and stuff, but you get those extra benefits as well. And a massive, as I say, thank you to everyone who's signed up for that, or any of the other ways that you can help me keep the lights on around here. Much appreciated, chaps. Very, very grateful. And that is pretty much the video for today, folks. Hope you've found it useful and informative in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about stuff, basically. It's beer and chat on a Friday. It's a fantastic way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.